Good morning. Well, today we have a different kind of a painting. It's more of an illustration. It's a little child bringing somebody a nice cold bottle of water because it's hot out there. The Weather Channel indicates that it is going to be another hot day today. It's July 10th, but even if you're not in Florida, it's probably very hot where you are. I know in New York it's pretty hot right now. I know in California and in Dallas, I think it's pretty hot even in the northern parts of the country and the world, the places that are normally cool. The Weather Channel says that June of 2024 is some record hot months, record hot. So Robin and I have in the back of the car a cooler, and in that cooler is ice, and in that ice are bottles of water. And whenever we see somebody who looks like they could use a bottle of cold water, we stop and we ask them, would you like a bottle of cold water? And then we reach into the back seat, get that bottle of water, hand it out the window. It makes a difference. They really, 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 really appreciate it. We've done that with people holding those signs, the homeless people who are looking for handouts of money. Sometimes a bottle of water might help them more than $1. And the bottle of water probably only costs $1. And I know in the cities, when I've walked through the streets, I've seen bowls of water for the dogs. So whenever you can, stay hydrated, okay? Today's painting is a little different. Well, it's very different. It's admittedly true. And today, the thing I want to read is from the Bible, and it's the part of the Bible in the book of Matthew where Jesus says, I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. Do you remember that part? So I'll read that to you. I know that my painting is not the normal kind of painting I do. And in a way, it kind of looks like a cartoon. Well, it is, I suppose. That's kind of what I am. I'm an illustrator more than I am an artist. So I don't know how much of this video you want to watch regarding how to paint. It's not a landscape this time. It was just weighing on me. I was out in the heat. I am blessed because I have an air-conditioned home. And I have an air-conditioned car, and I can afford to buy water. And I live in a place where, even though it's very hot, we have some beautiful rivers. And there's even a swimming pool at Robin's mother's place. So yes, I am blessed, but there are a lot of people out there not so blessed. A lot of pets, a lot of people, a lot of other papas and grandmas who don't have a home or maybe are working. We've given water. Rob and I have opened the window and asked a construction worker on the street, we'll say, you look really hot, could use a bottle of water. And yes, they always will take the bottle of water. It's an amazing thing. And they're not asking for anything, they're just doing their jobs. And so maybe today, because I woke up with this, this was kind of weighing on me when I woke up. It's almost as if I was dreaming about it. So what do I paint today? Another pretty landscape? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Today I wanted to do a picture that maybe said something about just a little act of kindness might go a long way. Maybe it won't make the news, but maybe it'll make somebody's day. Maybe it'll be contagious in a good way. Maybe other people will start to bring bottles of water in their car, or leave bowls of water out there for the dogs. I know there's a lot of arguments about that too. But anyway, do what you can to stay cool. Do what you can to help others stay cool and stay hydrated. And don't underestimate the need for water. Don't underestimate it. Ask a doctor, they'll tell you. Ask a child will tell you. Do you remember coming into the house when you were a kid? You'd be playing outside and you just went straight to the sink and got a glass of water. Or maybe if you were like in my generation, you went to the garden hose. Oh my gosh, that's considered taboo now. But yeah, back then we'd go to the garden hose, turn it on, and just drink out of that garden hose. Yeah, we didn't run to the store and get a cola. We didn't run to the store and get a bottle of water. It was right there in the garden hose. All right. Well, today's world, we do have bottled water. And it's a nice, convenient way to give somebody a little gesture of kindness. So, all right. I'll show you how I painted that. You might not be interested in learning how to paint that, but oh, and I want to show you something. I want to show you something I did with this. I took a picture of it and I put it on my iPad. Okay? And let me show you that. Find it. This is my iPad. There we go. So I took come on, don't do that. I took a photograph of it and I put it on my iPad. So you see, that's the same as the card. You see, it's the card. And then, let me show you what I did. I added a layer with text on it. Are you ready for this? And what does the text say? Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. All right, I'm not trying to be religious. I am not that guy, but I just like that passage. And I think it works well with this picture. And I'll make that free. Hey, go to my website. I have a couple websites, but go to the one where you can download things for free. I have it's my name, LarryWhitler.com. It's right there. And then there's a thing where it says Poppa Paints. I'll put it on there and you can download the picture from the card by itself and the picture of the card with the words on it, okay? All right, that's an idea. Whoa, the words went away. Were the words showing when I showed it to you? There they are. All right, let me show you how I painted that. Again, if you're watching my videos because you want to watch somebody paint and maybe learn from it, I don't know, I learned from watching you guys paint, so I'm not trying to be the teacher, I'm just trying to paint. Gosh, I gotta get some new shirts. All right, let's go. Okay, this is a little bit different than what I normally do, but it's so hot outside lately, so I thought I would do this one. So I'm gonna real small, real loose, try to create an illustration of a little child. I know you've already seen the opening sequence. A little child holding a bottle of water. I'm going to give it to a man sitting on the sidewalk who is very hot from the heat of the day. So real small, like these little tiny fingers holding the bottle. So yes, this is one based on that one Bible verse in the book of Matthew, which I don't have memorized, but I will. I will use it. I'll find it. I'll read it. I'll include it in the video. Yeah. Little tiny nose. Big eyes. Little children. Little children have big eyes, but the truth is, they have the same size eyes as you and I. Did you know that? Yeah, children don't. The eyes are big. They look big because the head is small, but the eyes are big. Just trying to make something here. Now this is when I do illustrations for children's books. I often experiment on the iPad with the digital. That way I can work it and rework it. But because of the Poppa Paints video, I wanted to do it the old-fashioned way. And see if I can just sketch it the way I used to before there was such a thing as digital. Try to get a little face going here, a little child handing a bottle of water to a thirsty, hot man. So I've had, in the last couple of days, I've had an opportunity to give water. So on Sunday, a male delivery person, a lady, she came to our door to deliver a package. It wasn't for us, but I could tell it was a very hot day, and I could tell. And first it was Sunday. I said, "Don't you have Sunday off?" I thought mail carriers always had Sunday off. I remember a song when I was a kid, "Never on a Sunday." Do you remember that? So she said, "No, we deliver on Sundays." And I didn't know. I knew special delivery did, but I didn't know just regular delivery. But she said, "No, packages are delivered on Sundays." Anyway, so it was hot. It was hot out there. Very hot. And so I asked her if she would like some water. And she said yes. And I went inside. I was outside when this conversation happened, of course. And I went inside, and I got I went to the refrigerator and I got a bottle of cold water. And she was so appreciative of it. And another example was it yesterday also? I'm not sure if it was yesterday or a couple of days ago. Anyway, I'm confused with the days. But there was a man, again in our apartment complex, and he was a tow truck driver, and he was picking up a car that had to be repaired, had to be towed for the repair shop. And it was also super hot out, very hot. And I asked him if he would like some cold water, and he said yes. So I gave him some cold water, and he was so appreciative. So I said to Robin, you know what we should do? We should always have some cold water in the car. Wherever we're going, we should put some cold water in the car and keep it in a cooler. And then when somebody looks like they're really hot, we can offer it to them. There are people standing on the side of the road with signs. I know you know this, they're all over the place. And they're homeless. And I know people sometimes are judgmental about those homeless people. But the truth is, you don't know what they're going through. None of us know what any of us is going through if we're strangers. You do know if it's somebody you know. But you don't know what anybody's going through. But anyway, you know that if it's hot out there and they're standing out there, that's what you know. You know that they're hot and they're probably thirsty. So I'm gonna try to, when we go around today, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna bring with us a cooler with cold water in it and see if anybody might be out there. There was a time I went to the office supply store, Staples. You know that store? Do you have one of those near you? And there was some men outside painting the curb. You don't really know why, but they were painting the curb. I'm sure they were hired to do that. And let's put this little child's hand on here. So they were painting the curb, and I could tell they were super hot. I could tell. Little fingers here. And so I asked them if I could get them some water, and they said, no, I'm okay. They didn't need water. But I went inside anyway. I went into Staples and I bought them some water. Robin and I both did. And they really appreciated the water. You know, they first said no, thank you, but you could tell they were hot. And you know, you don't have to be a doctor to know that you need water. Think about this, every living thing, everything, all of God's creation of life, everything is made of water. At least partially, probably mostly. I don't know what they say, is it 90% water that we are? So here, this little girl, I might have made her too big, but I want to make her a man here. And she's looking over here, so he must be right here. How big is a child's head compared to an adult's head? I don't know if I'm going to pull this off here. Maybe it would be better if I just kept her there without putting the old man in there. I kind of like the way she looks. Or maybe this is just a hand coming up. I think about that. I don't know. I kind of like the idea that she's just standing there holding a bottle of water. Maybe I could accentuate the heat of the day. Make it in an urban setting. Some buildings behind her. So you already know how this is going to look, but I want to make it a very hot day, very, very hot. So I'm not sure what I want to do here. If I put a face there, is it going to look weird because I made it too big? Let's see. I think it'll look weird. I think I like it just like that. So I think everything should be kind of out of focus, I think, in the background. Well, let's work with that. Let's see how that comes out. And let's just see. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Let's get started with the orangish. I think the orange is going to be a good starting point. Orange and yellow. Get some of that yellow. Yeah. I kind of want it like that. Just get it all over the place. I can always add things later. It's a very, very hot day. Right now, if I look at the Weather Channel, I'm sure it's true for you too. If you're watching this at another time of the year, today is July 10th. And if you're not familiar with who I am, I'm Poppa, and I'm in Florida. So think about this for a second. It's July 10th, 2024. And it's hot out there every day. Because it's summer, because it's Florida. And people are going to be hot. And not everybody has the luxury of being able to go inside. Not everybody has the luxury of being able to even buy a bottle of water. I like the idea of a little child handing the water to somebody. So I'm just going to keep adding orange and red and yellow, and then we'll add this flyaway hair. Maybe the little girl herself in this painting, maybe she's not all that affluent either. Maybe she's also a poor child. But isn't that a beautiful thing when people who don't have much help out somebody else who has even less? So I'm just gonna make this, and see, because I wanted to put the man over here, the picture becomes off center, and maybe there's a psychological element to that. Maybe we are a little bit off center. Maybe as we run around, we lose sight of the world around us. I am so fortunate that I have a car with an air conditioner. I'm so fortunate. There, but by the grace of God go I. I love that saying because it's so true. Alright, now let's try to get some color into the little girl's face. I'm going to stick with the same orange, believe it or not. Just water it down a lot. Just water it down. Get some light coming in at her. Yeah, just let that dry like that. That's nice. That'll work nice, just like that. And we'll worry about some of these folds and things later on. Just get some of that in there. And her little hand. Just a little light Don't want it to bleed into the background. And she's holding a bottle of cool, clear water. Let's get the folds in her shirt or whatever she's wearing. Just like the passage from the Bible. I love that passage. Let me read it to you as soon as I get some of these basic areas painted in. Get that dark right there too. We'll come back to all of this. Let's let the sunlight come through here. So today it's more of an illustration than like a landscape painting, but I wanted to do this one. So while it's drying, I want to find that passage. I have it ready to read. And it's from the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 35 through 40. And this is what it says. It says, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison, or go to visit you?" The king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Isn't that an amazing, amazing, beautiful message? Do you know, when I did the radio show, I had a lot of people who disagreed with my feeling, my belief that God is indeed real. I had a lot of people who told me that I hadn't thought about it enough. I had a lot of people who thought they were right, that there is no God. I would ask anybody, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't agree there is a God, you certainly must agree with what this is saying. This is saying something profound, more profound than I think I've seen anybody. How can you deny believing in Jesus if you believe in what he said? To believe in something, after all, is to support. If you believe in me, that means you trust me. If you believe in me. So, I think we get caught up in the world sometimes. But anyway, I'm not trying to get too religious on you. I am the last person, and I am not a person who is self-righteous or anything. Like the priest on the radio says, I am a recovering sinner. Yep. Yes, I am. Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't mean I'm perfect in any way just because I believe in God. It only means that I know that I'm not the one who created everything. I used to tell Robin that my favorite stories are biographies because I love hearing stories of how people survive, how people made it in this world, how people made a difference in the world that they lived in. And sometimes those people, if it's an autobiography, sometimes those people will say that they are self-made, that they made their lives. They made themselves who they are. And other times people will give credit to God. Everybody doesn't believe in God. But you certainly must believe that you are not completely responsible for everything that happened in your life. All of the good things that may have happened to you, even being born, that's part of part of the gift. The gift was to be alive. And now that you're alive, what are you going to do? Well, we've all worked hard jobs. We've all worked in the heat. We've all worked at a desk. We've all been in construction. What I'm trying to say is we've all worked. We've all toiled. Maybe there's a few people, but most of us have worked. I know there's a few people like in royalty. I don't know what they do in royalty, but I'm glad I had the path that I had to take. I'm just really glad about that. I feel like I learned a lot by not having a silver spoon. I learned a lot by not having a silver spoon. So I try to make this little child giving this bottle of water to some unseen person now. The original idea was to have a person in the picture. So I have to be very careful. I'm going to try to do this with watercolor. Whoa! I was just going to say I'm doing it with watercolor so that it comes out good, but then it's spread like that, and I don't want it to spread. But you gotta fix it sometimes. Sometimes you gotta fix a painting. Whoa! I don't want that either. See, it's not dry yet. Alright, let me keep working on the hair. The hair seems to be doing good. I like this little flyaway hair that she's got. A little unkempt little girl. This would be a special little girl giving a bottle of water to somebody who was thirsty on the street. Just fly away hair. Fly away. Alright, let me make some more dark hairs down here in the clothing and in the hair. I'm all over the map sometimes when I paint. I'm all over the page. I think sometimes when I was younger, I would paint pictures that I tried to have a message in them. And now I seem to be more interested in painting pictures that are just beautiful to look at. I think this is a throwback to my younger days. Painting a picture that might speak to somebody. Although, I think all the paintings speak to you in some way. There's all different things. I might have to use gouache. I think I ruined the complexion of her face. I might have to use gouache to fix that. This is definitely a job for a small brush. That's why I'm using a small brush. Yeah, so I'm going to say to Robin, today we've got to run some errands, so I'm going to get a cooler, and I'm going to put ice in it, and I'm going to make sure there's lots of bottles of water in there. And if I happen to see somebody who looks like they're needing some cold water, I'm going to make sure I have it for them. You know, it really comes from my own mother. Maybe. I'm sure it does. Here's the story. When I was a little kid, the street I lived on was being repaved. And I can still smell that tar. That tar that was being put down on the ground. I can still smell it. And the men that were working out there were very hot. It was a very hot day, and they were putting tar down. And you know how hot of a job that must be. It must be so very hot. And my mother went outside, and I went with her, and she gave the men some glasses of water. I don't think we had bottled water back then. Boy, this little child looks like she's so sad that this person is needing a bottle of water. This face is sort of painting itself. Yeah. Could make this better. Ah, see? That's not good. Gotta get it. Nope, come on. The brush has to be clean. It's just not working out. Let me put some more orange in there. Gotta wait for all that to dry. And I'll spread it around a little bit. Some shadows here. Oh, this has to be lifted off. It's a real gentle thing here. Real gentle. Try to pick up some of this paint. Give some more definition to the face. It's kind of like sculpting in a way. Keep working. Let me get some more orange over here on this hand. It's a little tiny fingernail. Little tiny hand. Let that dry just like that. Get these little fingers with the little tiny fingernails. And just keep working the the orange and the black are working nicely together on this painting. Little tiny areas here. Get some orange in there. Kind of like the way the face is coming out. I think I'll use some blue in the bottle of water. Maybe that'll be. I'm trying to think how to make this arm look like it's back there. There we go. Now it's coming together. Always a little fold. Maybe even some yellow in there, I think. Giving a bottle of water to somebody. So I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're staying cool. What's the word of the day? The word of the day is stay hydrated. What's 2 words? But stay hydrated. Like I said earlier, everyone of God's creations has water inside of it or outside of it. For a fish, you have water inside and outside. That's right. You got water everywhere. You got water all over the place. A child's hands, well, all hands, are kind of a miraculous thing. I think so. Try to make it a little bit darker down here. Let the watercolor do its thing. As always, let the watercolor do its thing. Let's put some orange in her hair. Let's let these colors just kind of come out. The warm sun is reflecting on everything about this picture except for the bottle of water. It should be warm. Well, this is definitely a different kind of a picture for me. It's funny that I woke up wanting to do this. It's funny how dreams sometimes affect what I do in the course of a day. With a bottle of water, making somebody's day. Right now, I gotta figure out how to make that water look like water. I'm not sure how to do it. I was thinking I could use some gouache right there, but I don't think so. I think I'll leave it just the way it is. But now what do I do about the water bottle? How do I do that water bottle? Well, it's a clear bottle of water. We'll start with that. I do think I want to try the blue idea. Let's see if I can get that blue looking. I'm not sure this is the right idea, but I'm going to try it. Try it. A little bit of shadow here. Just kind of grab some of this, almost like dirty water. I don't mean in the bottle. I mean on my brush. A nice cold bottle of water. Nothing is better when you're thirsty. All the advertisements you see for soda, it's capitalizing on your need for water. They make it seem like it's better than water. I myself drink soda. I love ice. I love a drink with ice in it. Do you? Oh gosh, yes. These little areas here where the bottle has some texture to it and some openings, some folds. See if we can make this look like a bottle of water. Maybe a little tiny bit of darker area here where, because you'll be able to see her arm through the bottle just a little bit. Nice cool bottle. Alright, let's put some more dirty water, not in the bottle, but on the bottle. Dirty water. Dirty water is a good painting technique. think we have our bottle of water. I think it looks like a bottle of water. Now I think what I need to do is make the background busier. So I'm going to do some things here. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Maybe there should be some. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I honestly don't. Maybe weigh it down a little bit in the back. Make it some darker areas. Put some vertical lines. I'm not sure what we're looking at here. I think if it was a photograph, I would want it to be almost blurred out. So it's kind of what I'm doing. Just make it busy. Dark and light. Let's put some dark areas and some light areas. And just make it busy. I think maybe the water bottle would stand out better if it was a little bit darkness around it. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm just scribbling, really. Maybe there's some things back there. They could be buildings. They could be trees. My guess is they're buildings. But I want it to be very undefined. Let's just let the watercolor, let's let the watercolor do its thing. See how it works out. Just try to get some dark background here so you can see your hands better, see the water bottle better. Yeah, let's get this kind of dark here. I want that water bottle in her hands. I want everything to stand out. Get that orange to come into this area here. You can see it just a little bit through there. Hope that didn't make a mistake right there. Alright, let's get some more. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Just want some vertical lines and some undefined things in the background. I like the fact that the watercolor is just moving around a lot. I don't always like when that happens, but I think in the course of this context of this picture, it's working out. I think we can make this water bottle a little bit more defined. I think I'll make this background a little less defined. Let the water spread around. Kind of looks a mess, doesn't it? Maybe that's what I wanted. Maybe I wanted a messy environment that this little girl is in. It's because it's a messy environment contrasted with an act of love, an act of generosity, an act of caring. Maybe that's what I was hoping for. Maybe that's what the picture was taking me to. It's a mess. It's a big mess. But I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to take some more blue. I'm going to define some of this edge of this water bottle a little bit better. Just go ahead and keep adding to it. The birds are waking up outside. I put the sprinkler on, and the birds will sit in the tree or in a branch nearby where the water is hitting them. So there's even the birds need some cooling down. I have a bird bath in the back. I love watching the birds in the bird bath. ice cold bottle of water for a stranger. So this is probably not considered one of my prettiest pictures, but maybe the sentiment is pretty. Maybe the sentiment speaks to somebody. I like the way the background implies that there are areas that are darker than others. I like the way the background is just a mess. A little more of that flyaway hair. Those orange tones. Alright, I think I'm done. Except for the background, which I'm going to smear like cream cheese on a bagel. Or is that schmear? Schmear like cream cheese on a bagel. Smear it all over the place. What do you think? What do you think of this one, huh? This is the different one, right? Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off and let it dry, and I'll be right back. Okay. I dried it. Now let me fold it. See what we think about it. Well, that's an interesting card, isn't it? It's definitely a different kind of a card. Alright, I think I'll keep it just like it is. I'll keep it just like it is. Alright, thank you for watching. And stay cool and stay hydrated. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.